Hello and welcome to Aura Talks. My name is Leandra. I'm a human design specialist and I work in the holistic health field, and I'm now also the co-founder of an app called Halo, all about human design, and you can check your human design for free there, get some valuable information about yourself and your loved ones. So I'm gonna put down the link where you can find the app. And also, if you want to work with me and go deeper into your chart and understand yourself in a more holistic way, or if you want to learn human design and use it for your clients or use it for your family or on a personal level, you can also study human design with me as your mentor. So click the link down below if that's interesting for you. And without further ado, let's get into today's theme of consecutive and alternating appetite. So it's all about food and digestion and how you take in energy, how you take in information. And here, according to human design, we have 6 different ways on how to do so. And within these 6 different ways, there's always 2 different sides on how it plays out, on how it shows up. And if you are alternating or consecutive appetite, you are building the foundation of this whole pyramid. And if you're not sure which kind of digestion you have, you can check that out in my app Halo. There you're gonna find a section where it says digestion and food. And it will say consecutive or alternating appetite if that's the video that you're looking for. So as I said, it builds the foundation, which means it is very primal, it is very primitive, it is very minimalistic, but not, of course, in a bad way, but just in a very simplistic way. That means that the way that you take in food, that you take in energy, is ideally very plain, very minimalistic. Meaning you want to make sure you have really good quality of things that you're eating that are not processed, that don't have a lot of ingredients or extra additives going on, but having it very, very clean and simple. Meaning if you are eating a cheese, it should ideally just have milk and a starter culture. No other numbers, etc., etc. So checking on the back of whatever you're buying, and buying always the most pure version, the most healthy version with ideally organic or really good quality, is gonna be very, very beneficial for your body, for your physical health and well-being. And that is so important because everything starts from physical health and well-being, and only from there we can build up on getting into a more mental plane or in an emotional plane. Meaning if your body is not nourished in the correct way, you will not have energy for anything else in your life, or you're very prone to experiencing a lot of conditioning, being not yourself. And that is not beneficial for any area of your life. And specifically for your eating type, if you're alternating or consecutive appetite, if you're not eating according to your type, this is going to show up very, very quickly. There's other ways of taking in food where they can eat a lot of junk food and will not notice it so immediately, but with your specific type, you also probably going to have a very sensitive digestive tract, a very sensitive stomach, and you will notice immediately when you have not been eating clean or when you have not been eating in for you the right way. So additional to eating very clean and eating very simplistic, you also want to make sure that you're not eating a lot of things at the same time. So smoothies with a lot of stuff going on, or sauces when there's a lot of things mixed together, is really difficult for your stomach to digest. So you want to make sure that you have a very few ingredients. Some people talk about just one ingredient at a time. I personally have this consecutive appetite and I find it very, very boring, and I love eating, but I want to make sure that I have between 3 and 5 ingredients, because I notice if I have more than that, my stomach is very confused and gets very upset easily. And You want to make sure, therefore, that you have very few ingredients and also ideally not mix them all together, but have them separately at a plate. What I'm also doing is that I'm not using a lot of spices, a lot of herbs. Personally, I like to cook just with salt, pepper, and olive oil. And you can also test and try out different ways on how you can adjust to that, what kind of spices you can maybe leave out, because also that adds an additional layer into the complexity of the food. Probably you also gonna have some phases where you have a big amount of energy, of appetite, and you can eat a lot or big portions or meals. So the appetite is going to come very suddenly. You might experience, specifically if you're consecutive appetite, you might experience a sort of hangriness where you just know you need to eat right now and a lot of food. So also being prepared, specifically when you're consecutive appetite, always having something in your bag where you know you have some access to energy. Also planning your meal times would be very beneficial in making sure you get enough nutrition and energy in. Whereas if you're alternating appetite, you might be more of a snacker type. You might like to snack around the clock, you might get a little bit here and there, but also very simplistic. So for example, eating just a cucumber by itself, or eating just some blueberries just by itself, or a bar just by itself. So you're more of a snacker personality, but also very, very clean, very, very simplistic, and just one thing at a time ideally. Fasting is not necessarily recommended specifically with consecutive appetite because it actually limits your brain function and your whole energy system is going to be really, really messed up after that. I've actually, before I knew human design, I tried fasting and it was absolutely a dilemma. I really noticed how all my energy functions would go down and my brain would not function in the right way. Again, I couldn't sleep, so it really didn't work for me. I'm not saying that generally fasting is bad. There's definitely types where it's really beneficial, but for your specific type, I personally would not recommend it. But as with everything, you test out your way on how it feels for you. Human design is not a dogma, it's an experiment. So go in the experiment with yourself, test it out, how do you feel? And I would always recommend, if that's totally new to you, try it for at least 2 weeks to eat like this and see how does your body feel with it. And if it feels beneficial, you can stick with it. If it doesn't feel beneficial for you, decide what feels better for you and you decide what's best for you. So as we have already said in the beginning, it is the base and the foundation, your specific way of eating. So you might also have a really strong impact on the people with different sorts of eating around you. Because the more people in our specific group of digestion eat in the proper and the right way, that can build up to the next step and to the next step that comes after that. So it's very, very important that we are setting a good example, we're setting a good base for all the other people around us. And if you maybe have noticed, when you're eating very clean, when you're eating according to your type and your energy, that other people get inspired by that and also will want to eat kind of in a similar way. So you're setting the foundation, you're setting the baseline of everything else that's up to come, which is very, very powerful, I find. So yeah, if you have any more questions, let me know in the comments below. Also, let me know if it resonates, if you're alternating or consecutive appetite. If you want to get my guide, I prepared a beautiful inspirational guide specifically for this type because it's kind of difficult to live that in the normal world, let's say. Get in touch with me. You can get your guide for a donation of your choice. So get in touch on the links below. And with that being said, I'm sending you so much love and bye for now.